There we go. Now I'm wondering if I look lopsided, but it's okay. As long as my phone is charging and I'm live in all the places. So I got TikTok, Facebook is live, YouTube is live, everybody's live. Today is what, Wednesday? Happy Wednesday, everyone. Shout out to TikTok showing up in the building first as always. As always. What's up? What's up? What's up? Make sure y'all say hello, tap on the screen and say hi. And y'all coming into my domicile. Um, Hello, everybody. Hi. Hey, Vanessa. Hey. Hello, hello, hello. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So, I know I've been out for a little bit, had a lot going on. I am still going live tomorrow for my EFI anniversary. So, I am still doing that tomorrow, but I just been like, scrolling and watching and scrolling and watching. I was like, let me just go ahead and do a quick little data dump, get all the things off my chest, off my mind, so that I can go ahead and not have to record it and save it on my phone. That's just being honest. I could have recorded several videos and I chose not to. So everyone that is new here, hi, I am Ianifa Dania Faomi Shango. I'm an Ifa priestess and spiritual awakening doula for the African American diaspora. And I'd like to liken that my specialty is helping Generation X, specifically Black Generation X, that are going through a conscious spiritual awakening and wanting to redefine their relationship with their creator that is not built on trauma and fear. So, if that sounds like something that would interest you and you would like to book a consultation, feel free to go to the link in my bio and do so. But for right now, let's talk about what is not a compliment. Um, this part is kind of inspired by, I saw a video today. I saw, think, a glimpse of what was being talked about, but I didn't really actually sit and listen. It was something that I saved for later. But I actually watched a video today where apparently this woman quit her job. So a Black woman, she's she's one of those typical, I go to work, I come home. I go to work, I come home. I only work a couple of days a week. I go to work and come home. And in that, you know, she's not like, I'm cool with y'all while I'm here. And then I go home. Her work life and her personal life are very much separate, which is the case for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have people following them, their co-workers on social media. That's not the case for everybody's life. Someone approached her after work and said to her something around them not being as close as they would like to be. And she's like, well, I didn't think there was a problem. And thus, she's like, I don't think there was a problem. They were like, well, maybe we should have dinner, da da da. And she's like, well, I don't really socialize with people I work with outside of work, but thank you so much for the offer. Normal, nothing crude, rude, or anything like that. She goes ahead and she goes on about her life, goes home. Next thing you know, she's back at work. And this woman, and yes, for anyone in question, yes, she was, goes back to work. The woman has been in their boss's office crying for 2 hours because she didn't want to go to dinner. What? Because this woman told her no. Said no. I don't want to go to dinner. I don't want to do that. Like, and she ended up quitting her job because it was either make friends with this woman she did not want to actively be friends with, or quit her job. And so there's been conversation apparently going on. My social media feed is kind of set up in a specific way, so I don't always get the full like real videos or real content creators. Sometimes I get a stitch here and there about a certain topic. And so apparently there's videos like you can't compliment Black women, you can't compliment Black people, everything is. And I'm like, because you're not complimenting us. And so, to give like a real world example, I used to work for a very large, like they might be more than Fortune 500. They might be in the 3 or the 2 range. but we'll say a Fortune 500 company, very large company. If you have a job and you work for somebody else and they do payroll, chances are the company I used to work for, their logo is on your check. So, considering how hard it is to get in on that company, you would think that there's certain things, qualities, traits, expectations you would have for someone, even at any large company. Certain things you would think that, especially if they're technology, they should be technically savvy, they should have excellent communication skills. These are things that one would expect. So it started in the job interview. So in my job interview, and the way it worked is I interviewed with my initial manager and one other manager. And the manager says in the interview, they asked me, what are my goals? What do I want to do? What is my goal? And I know a little bit about the company, but not enough to name job titles. But I did say I wanted to go into leadership because at the time that I was applying, I had a history of leadership role. I used to be a manager at Pizza Hut, so I had that as my background. And they were like, well, you're not really going to know how to do your job for 2 years. What they got to do with my goal? If somebody wants to comment what it has to do with my goal, please make it make sense, because you didn't ask me what I want to do when I walk in the door. You asked me my goals. You asked me what my growth plan was. And I told you, I want to get into leadership. I knew I wasn't applying for leadership. Why are you telling me it's going to take me 2 years to know how to do my job? And me being the person that I am, laughed respectfully. But I'm okay. Well, it is. I'm like, it sounds like a cool challenge because I am an exceptionally fast learner. For those who are new here, I have 146 IQ. I am an exceptionally fast and effective learner. If you teach it well, I'm going to learn it. If you don't teach it well, I'm still going to learn it. So this is who was the person who made the statement, was my reporting manager when I got the job. And I got the job in record time because, at least in my area, most people said it took them. Most people indicated it took them months to get on. From the time that I did my first interview to the time they told me I had the offer, it took 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 at the absolute longest. That was it. And I was in my seat within 2 weeks of that. I never had a break in income, anything. Like, I was in there. So I get the job. The other manager ends up becoming my mentor, like unofficially, for a time, and gave me really great feedback. He's like, if you see a problem, fix it and apologize later. Say less. My first actual peer mentor, she couldn't mentor me the way you would assume a mentor would, but she did give me one strong piece of advice, and I used it to my full advantage. So I got a promotion before I ever hit 1 year, in the role that she told me it would take me 2 years to learn what I was doing. I leveled up within a year. At 6 months, I was already doing, so I got hired as a level 2. I got promoted to level 3. And then within 6 months of my level 3 promotion, I was actually actively operating as a 4. So I asked for it. And when I asked for the level 4 promotion, what she said to me was, well, I can't give it to you. Okay. Everything, every box checked. Well, it's kind of like a leadership role. Okay. You don't look like a leader. I just want you to just sit with that. And if you ask me, yes, she was. You don't look like a leader. I had an amazing mentor. I had asked this, and we had gotten a new manager recently, Black woman, big, full, curly hair, and dress was immaculate. And she had a technical background. So she was a Black woman in leadership with a background in technology, which very much mirrored who I was. And she had her own sense of style, which I greatly appreciated. And so I asked her, what do I need to do? And she's like, you're going to have to play her game. And so that's what I did. My boss at the time, yeah, she went there. She went all the way there. My boss at the time, she had a particular aesthetic. typically a shirt, some capri pants, and kitten heels. Number one, I'm not wearing kitten heels. I don't care what the opportunity is. I refuse. I'm not wearing kitten heels. Never, never. So what I did is I bought some 6-inch stilettos, but they were closed toe instead of open toe. So it made them a little less assuming. I bought a bunch of V-neck because she was prone to wearing V-neck shirts. So I bought a bunch of V-neck shirts from Dots, all different colors, and a bunch of black pencil skirts and black capris. And that's what I would wear to work. I just gave myself a uniform, and that's what I would wear. And one day she says to me, "Oh my God, you look so nice." Okay. I didn't do anything. I wore t-shirts, pencil skirts, and closed-toed 6-inch heels. That's what I wore to work. By the time I wanted to ask for level 4 again, one of the team leads was leaving, and it was not her. She could not make the decision. She was on the panel that would make the decision, but she could not make the decision. It was a group decision. And I remember catching wind that she didn't want me to have the job. It was a team lead role for our team, her team, the team that I was on. Now, I had already trained in the position, meaning I already knew how to do the job. They had already pulled me off the phone. So I was not anybody tied to a phone taking calls. In fact, I was doubling in the role already. I was literally doing the job and not getting paid for it. In fact, in my final interview, they were like, "Why should we give you this role?" And I said, "Because I'm already doing it. I just don't have a job title." So got, the job. Had a stretch assignment where I had to do a presentation for all of the managers in our wing because I had an idea for some team building that required the other areas. So my mentor was like, "You need to do the presentation for them." So I do the presentation for them. I do the presentation. Why? Because I'm fire when I get ready to do a presentation. So I do the presentation, come out later on that day. My manager comes up to me, "Hey, I heard you gave a presentation to all the managers on the wing." She didn't show up. And I was like, "Yep." She said, "I heard you did a great job. I didn't know you spoke so well." No, I did not cuss. I did not spaz out. I did not lose my mind because I kept my job for several years later. So I didn't do all of the things that any of my other melanated folks are probably like, "You didn't." No, I did not. I did not. I did not. I did not. But once again, let me restate, I worked for a Fortune 500 company. You interviewed me, meaning that you actually heard me speak to you and answer your interview questions. How in the world did you not know I spoke well? You ain't talked to me. You ain't held no conversation with me. You ain't heard me speak. I got you. I got you. I got you. My mother, when I would work from home some days and I would be on one-on-ones, in my coaching session, my mom could hear in the background. And my mother would say to me, "She doesn't like you. She doesn't like you when you intimidate her." I think she quit within a month of me getting my promotion to team lead. Bye. But you fast forward, this is a real experience. So you fast forward, and I get this opportunity to make up a schedule of events for Black History Month. And one of them is a panel discussion about what it means to be a Black professional in corporate America. And, the first thing I did was I had to soften the name. So, like, what does it mean to be a professional African American? Because if I said Black, apparently was too scary. So, used African American. Okay, that's fine. I'm cool with that. And I split it into 2 panels. And so we had the men that had the first panel, and we had the women that had the second panel. And I was very particular and strategic with the questions that I wrote, as well as who I wanted on the panel. I wanted it to be people I knew who would speak authentically, who would tell their truth and the truth of that experience. So what ends up happening is In the course of this discussion, the Black men's panel was absolutely bananas, so spectacular. Like one of the best panel discussions I have ever organized. I purposely chose Black men who did not all look cookie cutter. I had one that he used to, like, for y'all have been in my lives before talking about my son Gabriel opening up my throat chakra. He's the one that made me spaz out on the middle of the floor. But he ended up, becoming a manager, and he came back to do my panel. Long locks all the way down his back and a full beard. Needed him. There was another gentleman who had an afro, but it was not like one of those round ones, like a really woolly afro and a woolly beard. Got him. I knew a clean cut light skinned brother. Got him. I knew a clean cut young dark skinned brother. Got him. And then one that was kind of my complexion and dressed very casual, kind of low key. Got him. So a nice little variation of what Black men in leadership look like. Their conversation was fluid, it was organic, it was truthful, and it was absolutely everything I wanted it to be. And so many people had so many key takeaways of the experience of Black men as professionals in corporate America that they could learn from. And then Black men were able to see themselves in these men on the panel. Beautiful experience. So then the Black women's panel comes. And right in conjunction with that, we have a member of our senior most leadership team coming into the office. And of course, in a situation like that, they want to vet the questions. And so one of my questions was based off of my personal experience. They didn't know this. The question was, what do you do when someone says to you, you speak well? How do you respond to that? They wanted me to change it to, how do you respond to the compliment? Okay. I'm angry, but I fight the fight later. Okay. I was very proud of the women on the panel. They did the best they could within the way the situation had changed for them, because they were not in a space where they could speak as safely as the Black men were able to. But they still answered the questions with a nice measure of truth. And so afterwards, because I was adamant, I was fuming. And so they called me to the GM's office and like, you want to get some feedback? Da, da, da. Sure, here we go. First off, you invited someone to sit on a panel for Black women. He was not Black, nor was he a woman. And you invited him to sit on the panel when he could not even contribute to the conversation. All he did was sit there. What was the point? Because what he could have done was sit in the audience and learn from the Black women just like anybody else. Why would you have me include him on the panel? Not okay. Not at all okay. Then you follow that up with changing this question. It's not a compliment. I work for a Fortune 500 company. You should assume that I'm articulate because you hired me. You should assume that I speak well because you hired me. So anytime any person says to a Black person, wow, you're so articulate. Oh, you speak so well. It is not a compliment. It is a show of racism. It is a microaggression. It is an unconscious bias. It's not okay. And when you take the tone of the question to shift it so that you feel comfortable, you are negating the purpose of the question. The purpose of the question is to make you uncomfortable. The purpose of the question is to have you put a mirror to your face, because that means you are somebody who told somebody Black that they speak so well, not realizing that you were being a racist when you said it. I recently was told it's probably why they laid me off, but I don't. But it's not a compliment. It's not okay. It is absolutely not okay. And we have to be more intentional about understanding that it doesn't matter how you saw it. It only matters that the group in question, like, it's not one or two people, the entire group is saying, this is not okay. Don't say that. One of the other stories, this woman, and someone keeps saying something about her hair. Well, Black women's hair is a touchy subject because it has been criminalized, like literally our hair criminalized from the time we stepped on this land, our ancestors stepped on this land. Our hair has been criminalized. So if our hair has been criminalized, like our hair has been deemed not okay, not appropriate, not fit to be seen in public, then someone who looks like those people who perpetuated this violence against our hair saying something each and every single day about how our hair looks. This woman is Black woman. Our hair is, fluid. One day it could look one way, one day it could look another way. That's what we do. That's our creativity. That's our goddess energy manifesting. You know, those who birth creation, like we do that. And she asked the woman, could you please stop coming to me about my hair? Because right now it's coming off as a microaggression. And so then it's like, oh, so I can't compliment you. It's not a compliment. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not a compliment. It's a microaggression. That's what it is. And what does it hurt you to stop? That's the other part. What does it hurt you to stop? It does not hurt you to stop doing this thing that is hurting me. Other than your ego. Your ego's bruised, and that's okay. It can be bruised. It can absolutely be bruised. But don't keep doing this when I ask you to stop. Don't keep doing this thing because I asked you to stop. And I love, I think her name is Breezy on TikTok. And she's like, this is the exact same argument that we'll have when they talk about being catcalled. Don't catcall me. Don't be all in my personal space complimenting me. But then he will immediately do it to somebody else. Like, don't we ask our kids not to do that? Like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And what's the first thing you say? Leave them alone. It doesn't matter that you're not touching them. You are still bothering them. Isn't that what we tell our kids? We tell our kids, stop doing that. Because it's either way, it's irritating for the other person. So stop irritating them. Stop irritating them. Like, just stop. Like just stop. Stop. So that was the one. And then the other was about harming Black women. And I'm just like, this is what I got to say on that, because I think I did a live where I just said, Black women, protection work is a thing. Protection work is a thing. And if you need some help with that, protection work is a thing. I don't mind doing it for the collective, just a collective group like y'all just put in, like you do a working for all of us. Protection work is a thing. Like, it's a thing. Like you can, I see your question. What's interesting is how often we negate the power of our voice, our word. In Yoruba, it's our Ofa Ashe. It's the power of the word. It is us taking our spiritual power and putting it in our voice. The thing I love about my godmother is she would always remind us at the end of the day, we are the complicated ritual, and we are the strongest, most important spiritual tool that we in our toolbox. The most important spiritual tool is you. Anything else is simply an extension of you. Anything else is simply an extension of you. The most powerful protection that I put around my home is when not me lighting a candle. It's not me lighting a candle. It's me sitting in my space and placing my hands on the floor. Because I know that when I look at myself in my spiritual court, in my spiritual pantheon, I am the sovereign in that relationship. I am the sovereign within that relationship. They are my spiritual counsel. That means we're doing this together. It's like you have the king, the queen, the emperor, and then they have their council. And then they have their council of advisors. That's what your spiritual court is, your council of advisors. So your first act of protection is always you. So sitting someplace, thinking about what does that protection around you, your home, your family, and your children look like? Like, even if you can't in the literal sense do visualization and see it, you can still see it. You can still imagine like, yo, I know that there are 5 giant T Rexes in spiritual form standing in my front yard. There's at least one dragon hovering over my roof, red and green, perpetually breathing out fire to anyone that tries to bring it. Like that, you like you could easily, and you like it may not feel like you did it the first time. That's how you have to make it a ritual is something you do over and over again. So then you have to make it a habit. So whether you're doing it every day or once a week on this day is protection day. We do protection work on this day. And every week on that day, you just reinforce your protection. My first mentor was not necessarily EFA related. She helped me with my spiritual gifts and have a spiritual practice. And she was like, you need an egg. And she said, periodically, what you need to do is reinforce your egg. The egg is always there, but you may have a chip here or it's worn in a spot here. So you need to visualize yourself periodically reinforcing your egg. And so that's what I used to do. Is simply visualize I'm sitting, she said white, I like iridescent. So I'm in an iridescent egg. And the more that I did it, instead of just being an egg around me, let's see if I could do an egg the whole room. Okay. Can I egg several rooms? Okay, let me egg the house. I mean, spiritually egg the house. And so I would just visualize light raining down from source. And for me, this was also how I did shadow work. So it's me dressed in white, me dressed in black. So it's me and my shadow, both of us shielding and protecting my home. Why? Because your power is sitting in your shadow sometimes. So for me, it's not about removing, it's integrating and partnering with my shadow. So to do that, I would visualize me and my shadow, both of us holding hands and both of us holding hands outstretched, shielding my home. Just shielding it, just causing whatever the shield was over my home and literally shielding my home. So that's that, like you want protection, there it is. Like that's there are several examples. Now you could do the extra because sometimes our physical mind, our conscious mind needs help attracting into our physical reality. This is what offerings do. When you give an offering, I will answer that. When you give an offering, and if you were asking about what I did earlier, that's what I used to do. So I'll tell you what I used to do because I think that's probably where the question stemmed from versus what I do currently, but I will answer it in both ways. But when you get an offering, this is the energy that you're giving. And the energy that you're, giving the offering to is still energy that is a part of you. This is something in your physical reality telling your physical conscious mind that something is going to transpire, and it makes you more open and receptive to what is trying to come into your physical reality. It takes down your resistance. So let's say, hold on. Sorry. Okay, so let's say you're trying to manifest money. Let's get doing manifest money. And in your manifestation ritual, you are working with a specific energy that resonates with money. So you give this energy an offering. What that does is tells your mind, I'm about to get money. Something is about to come into my physical reality that says, I'm going to get money. Then it makes you receptive to divine inspiration. Then your physical mind is ready and prepared for signs in its physical experience that will lead it to money because you did this thing, you did this offering that you could physically see. Thus, it's ready to physically see money manifest. So it's ready to do something, hear something, receive something. It takes down any obstacles to it because now you're like, oh, okay, I'm open. So then all of a sudden you're getting ideas. Oh, I could do such and such a thing, or I should go to such and such place, or I should do this. Maybe I should check my mail. All of a sudden, these things are coming and you're receptive. You're able to receive them. Why? Because you told your physical mind to be on alert because these things are going to happen. So the same thing applies when you do protection work. If you light a black candle, a white candle, whatever kind of candle resonates with you for protection, and you're lighting this candle and you're praying over the candle and you're working the candle, your physical mind is in agreement with your conscious and your higher mind that you are protected. So it's not that simply just the candle doing the work. The candle is an extension of you. You are the ritual. You are the spell. You are the ashe. The candle is a physical vehicle so that your physical mind understands what's getting ready to happen. It's your physical mind understanding its relationship to the spiritual. And that's what tools do. That's what tools do. Somebody asked me what I do. So if this was relation to my conversation about unconscious bias happening to me in my corporate job, I used to do project leadership. So I used to be a project leader. I used to project manage. And now I kind of it's really interesting how my previous jobs play into what I do now. So right now I am a working, because you can be an Ifa priestess and not a working priestess. I am a working Ifa priestess, and I'm a spiritual awakening doula for the African American diaspora. If you ask me what talents I use, I perform divination by way of either Ifa divination, tarot, astrology, numerology. Every once in a blue moon, I actually do play with the Iki a little bit. And I'm a channel, clear channel as a medium and an oracle. So sometimes I don't need nothing. I just need quiet and let it go. I'm also a certified Reiki master, certified death doula, and I'm a certified master life coach that specializes in life purpose, goal setting, and happiness. So what I do is I help people to realize their full potential. I help them cultivate a deeper relationship with the creator. I help Black people specifically do this and embrace their traditional African practices, whether they choose to go all the way to initiation or not. It's not about that. It's about them understanding that prior to any slave ships, prior to any colonizations, colonizers coming onto their land, their ancestors always walked with God, always walked as reflections of the Most High. They're simply trying to remember what that's like. And as a spiritual awakening doula, I help support them in that journey. So yeah, that's what I do. Oh, hey Alexis. Oh, you're so sweet. You're such a sweetie pie. You're such a sweetie pie. That's what I do. That's what I do. I help people realize that they have the audacity um to that they have the audacity to, be themselves. I help them realize they have the absolute audacity to be themselves. Oh, somebody called me God. How amazing is that? Um, so one, definitely you need to do one spiritual bath at least once a week. If you still have permission to, as a moderator, by all means, feel free to do so. I just took it as they called me God, and I was okay, because God doesn't identify as a man or a woman, so I just figured they called me God, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. So I would say first and foremost, understanding where your energy is, but also doing start with the practical things. So one, always documentation. Documents everything. Documents everything. Everything gets documentation. Every single solitary thing gets documentation. Everything. Everything is documented. Doing what you can do, going to the appropriate people and documenting it. If you go to your HR, document it. If you go to your manager, document it. Do all the things in your physical reality. Hold on. You should be, but I'll take it off and turn it back on. I just checked it. It says that you should have moderator access. But I'm fine. If I see it again, I can always, but yeah, do those things first. Beef up your resume. Because if you are feeling uncomfortable in a situation, that could easily be your spiritual team telling you it's time for you to come up with an exit strategy. So if it's time for you to come up with an exit strategy, start doing those things. Beef up your resume. Make sure it is like all T's crossed, I's dotted, doing what you need to do to make sure that nothing comes up that says you are not doing your job. Now, this is where honoring your Ori starts to come into play. Because whether you practice in Orisha tradition, if you have a head attached to Alafia Omo, whatever you have that head on your neck, you have an Ori. You ain't gotta be practicing in Orisha tradition. Ori in Yoruba means head. You have a head. You have a head. So because you have a head, you have an Ori. Your Ori is your consciousness. So you conscious, right? So that means you have a consciousness. You need to start venerating your Ori, because your Ori is the part of you that remembers its oneness with source. It is the part of you that remembers its oneness with the creator. So when you need something, before any other aspect of your spiritual team, before your ancestors, before your angels, before your fairies, before your Orisha, before anyone, you in your higher consciousness has to grant them permission to intercede on your behalf. And a lot of times they don't have to. Your Ori is a divine energy, meaning you are divinity. That Ori, you start sitting with your Ori. If you need prayers for your Ori, I give them out for free. Everyone that's been in my lives multiple times can tell you ain't got to be one of my students. I give Ori prayers for free. Start praying to your Ori, cleansing your energy, because if they are giving this type of energy to you, it is probably in some way attached to you. Cleansing your energy at least once a week. If you work multiple days a week, once a week, you need to cleanse your energy. You don't have to be someone that does mediumship work. If you engage with other people of other energies, we are all magnets. Either way, we're attracting. So even if we're doing protection work, at least a little crumb, it's a little crumbs. You can have all the napkins and things all on you, but there's still inevitably going to be that one or two little crumbs. So you still want to clean those off. You could do a simple saltwater bath, clean your whole body physically, get all the dirt and stuff off you first. And as you're cleaning the physical dirt, you could even ask the water to also carry away with it any other spiritual impurities that do not serve your highest and greatest good, and detach you from any energies that are not of love, light, and of your goodness. Then clean your bathroom, clean it real good, unless you're going to do it outside, because doing it outside is a whole vibe. Doing all those things. And then the next thing you can do is water and salt and pray over it. Again, you are the complicated ritual. It is your voice, your word. Thoughts create reality. So that means speak it. Tell the water what you need. Protection, purification, cleansing. And then cleanse yourself from head down, because you are removing energy. If you were trying to attract something, you would bring it up to your head, but you're not. You're trying to get rid of it. So you're going to pour it over you for the head down. Then you start telling your Ori, this is what I need in my work environment. I need it to feel this way. I want my work experience to feel like this. If you are someone that dabbles into a little bit of astrology, look at your sixth house in your birth chart. Your sixth house in your birth chart is your work environment. It is your day-to-day life. It is how you need your work environment to feel, what you need your work environment to do for you. That is the sixth house in your birth chart. Look at that and see what you need. Look at your 10th house to see where it is that you're trying to go, because that's your ultimate career. That is your legacy. So that's what you're trying to do. Look at how your current job is facilitating you getting to that 10th house energy. And if it ain't, no, Chiron is not the sign. Chiron is probably in your 10th house, but it's not the ruler of your 10th house. But what that means is Chiron is the wounded healer. So Chiron is both the wound and the medicine to heal it. It's not simply a wound. It is also the medicine to heal the wound. So if you have Chiron in your 10th house, What that says is that at some point in either this life or your past life, there is a wound associated either to authority, your public reputation, or your career. So then look for ways to make your career feel good to you. It's probably good to have success in your career. And this may be why you're having this feeling in your current role, because you're not in alignment right now. And so looking at little things like that, notice I haven't told you to get a reading from me because I could easily have said that. It's not about that. Like, I'm not trying to line my pockets. I'm trying to make sure you do what you need to do. So you could look at that and say, okay, my Chiron, my 10th house is in, I'll use myself. My 10th house is in Aries. So Aries is the ruler of my 10th house. What do I know about the sign Aries? Well, it's fiery, but it's the leader of the zodiacs. It's the first sign. So it means that, and it's self-sustaining energy. Like, it's all about the self. So now what I know is that working for someone else, probably not in alignment for me, because Aries is an energy of an entrepreneur. So now I'm like, okay, I need to pay attention to how I feel. And if I am working for someone, I need to be in a high leadership role where I can cultivate my own destiny. And I can't be bored. I can't be bored because Aries don't like it. It don't like it. It do not like it. So I can't be bored in that role. It's got to have a little measure of excitement, a little razzle dazzle. So look at the sign and look at the qualities of the sign and the qualities of the element. And that will tell you more about what your career is that your soul chose when it decided to come incarnate on earth, or when it was told to incarnate on earth. So do that. So after you get your spiritual, so you're doing the HR thing. Now you start with the spiritual stuff. You're cleansing. Now you start telling your Ori, hey, this is what I need my work environment to be. What is it that I need to do? If you do ancestor veneration, start talking to them like, hey, ancestors, what is it that I need to do to either change energetically my work environment or put me in position to be in a better work environment? I used to, well, I still do. I do offer practically spiritual career coaching. And so one of my students for the career coaching program that I had, it's practically spiritual. So we did things like beefed up her interview skills, made sure her resume was on point, pointed her in the direction of mentors that would be in the field that she was trying to get to. We looked at her birth chart to see what it is that she was looking for from a soul level in her career. And then we went even more into the spiritual, took her resume. This is a petition. Your resume, you put that objective on your resume. This is your petition. Let's go ahead and add some money oil to that. Bring the money to you on your resume. Fold it up. Let's make a career altar. Some green candles and things that represent earth, because earth is your physical reality, it's your physical realm, and this is the realm of your career. So let's make an earth altar and put your resume on your earth altar. Now, take another copy of your resume, put it on your ancestor altar. Write a letter. This is what I'm trying to have. This is where I'm trying to go. Please help me get there. Give me the divine inspiration, the nudges, the signs, so I know how I need to move accordingly to further myself in my career. So that's what I would suggest doing to get started. But it seems like you got to make yourself not attract those things and remove, so that you can either do what you need to do energetically so they are removed from your physical reality, whether they end up magically disappearing or you end up amazingly getting another job. So I hope that's a good start. And if you need anything more, you could book a session with me and we could see what else may be going on with you spiritually. Hope that helps. That was a good one. Honestly, that was fun. That was fun. That was fun. Yeah. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I haven't done a good career talk in. You're welcome, Sugar Plum. You are welcome. You are very much welcome. I keep having to remind people that I was in my corporate job. I was project leader was what I did. Like, that was my title. But helping people realize their greatness at work. That is what I did. I was quite skilled. My very first mentee became senior director. Like, I'm gonna like resumes. It's still on my site. Like, if you go on my shop right now and look on my website, in my shop, I still offer resume writing service. I still offer it. I still offer career coaching, mentorship, because it's fun. Like, that's actually, like, it's fun for me. And then to be able to bring the spiritual element into it, child, please. What? What? You say you want me to do a candle working with your resume? First off, let's get your resume together. Let's get your resume together, and then we can do this money candle with your resume. Come on. Fantastic. Fantastic. What our boys say, sensational. Like, yes. Yes, yes, indeed. Oh, that's a really cool offering. A resume and money. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna like need to go ahead and consider what that's gonna look like, because now I got a whole idea, and I need to. Because I mean, somebody could do a money candle for you, cool, and somebody could do a resume for you, cool. But then there's someone who can do both. Get you somebody that can do both. Get you somebody. Get you somebody that understands how the recruitment process works and understands how you should use the STAR method in order to go through your interview, and like why it's important for you to research the company and the people that's going to be interviewing you, so that when they ask you, do you have any questions, you ask questions that show that you did your research on the role, the company, and the people that you're going to be working with. Trust me, if you have never done that, I'm going to need you to do that. It takes your interview up several notches. It takes your, like, I had an interview with a VP and I went and Googled them and I checked out their LinkedIn profile. And then I asked them something very specific about their career journey at the company. And they're like, did you research me? I did. If I'm going to be working for you, I needed to know who I was working for. And so I researched you. Now, if I've decided to do that, not only would I do that, but now I got to do a little honey on the tongue when I go on the interview. Now I got to put some honey on the tongue, sweeten my words when I go to the interview. Just say it. It all goes together. It all goes together. All right. We got to talking about career, and it honestly made me forget what the other thing was that I saw pop up that I wanted to talk about. So I'm not answering any E5 questions today, and that's only because I'll be for my E5 anniversary. And so if you have E5 questions, I will ask those, but I'll answer any other questions. I'm born and raised Georgia Peach. You can't tell. Born and raised Georgia Peach. I have been here all of my life. All my life. Sorry. You know I do. I'm in a good mood. A song's coming. I'm in a good mood. A song is absolutely coming. Any other questions, you guys? That was it. So I am doing something for Black women specifically. I was hosting a goddess gathering years ago, and I'm going to start doing it again. I do mini birth chart readings, and I only do mini birth chart readings because I'm still actively pursuing my certification in astrology, but I do have enough of a background where I do actually like mini birth chart readings. So I do your sun, moon, rising, and midheaven and interpret those in the houses that they're in. I do some planetary placements as well, including Chiron and Lilith. So I do offer those. They're not visible on my website, but if you would like one, they're only $199. And if you inbox me, then I can, arrange it, because it's not, it's a recorded reading, because it takes me a while to do all the digging. Like, it takes about uninterrupted, probably at least several hours to go through one person's birth chart and then pull all the information together in a way that makes sense for the person. So you get like a very beautiful PDF with the breakdown of everything. And then we can schedule a chat for questions around what I sent to you. So even though it's, sent to you and went out, you and I still could have a conversation. So if you decide you want one, just simply inbox me and I can send you an invoice link to pay for it. Good question. That's not. You're welcome. Oh, they changed how they send appointment reminders. Cool. Any other questions for me? All right, look, why is your comment so late, Mo? Like, it just like why is your comment so late? What is the delay? Is the delay on my end or is it on because it easily could be on my end. Okay. Any other questions? But what I was gonna say, so I am gonna start holding Goddess Gathering again. I don't think it's going to be called that, but I am going to start hosting one. And so what I did, what I did before was we used to get together and we were actually doing the Sacred Woman journey together. So I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time. There are a couple of books that have journeys that I want us to be able to go through together. And my intention that by the end of the 4-book series is I want to do a rites of passage ritual with everybody in the group where we all meet someplace, come together, and we do a rites of passage. Because most of us did not get that when we were little girls. So I want to be able to do one. I did a small one with a couple of young ladies here in my city, and it was so beautiful. Like, just to have that safe space, people were able to release and emote and, did a cleansing ritual with them. We did a condensed version of an Ori cleanse for those of you who have had one with me. I did a condensed version of that. It was really beautiful. So my goal is to do something like that as well. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about that. And I'm currently have on schedule. I don't have the date because I'm still trying to work out when I want to begin. Emoting is so good. Like, I always feel so much lighter. Like a good cry, especially a good, I'm going to, a good 3-year-old cry. Because, 3-year-olds have a very specific cry. Like they pull in some stuff out of their being at that age. Like, I can't keep this inside my body. They're getting the things out when you cry. Like, you could toddler cry. That's a good cry. That is a good cry. And it's rarely my intention to, I don't go into certain things. Abo Shishay. I can't see, I got too much going on my dress design. I can't see names, but Abo Shishay, Alafia. I don't go into any session intentionally trying to make someone cry, but I got a lot of watery energy and I am Scorpio dominant. And I think that's just me energetically reaching into the bowels of your being and pulling out what you need to come out, because you won't do it unless I help you. So I'm like, okay, I'm cool. Let me just get it. Just give it to me. Just give it. And know that I'm safe space to do the emotional releasing. And I always feel very much lighter. Like, it just feels like anytime I have to have a good cry, that weight has been lifted. And real talk, if you're someone with a spiritual practice and you're like, you feel like you want to cry and you're just not sure who to, go cry to your altar. Like, real talk, the best cries I've honestly had when there was no one I felt safe to reach out to was with spirit. Y'all, look, what y'all not gonna do is have me cry on the live. That hit me in my heart space, and I just want to say thank you. I'm Mo Dupwe and Ashe. But being able to go to your altar, that is your safe space. It should be. If you're cultivating a relationship with the divine in whatever way you do that, your spiritual practice should be your safe space. And that's part of, for me, when I say a spiritual awakening doula for the African American diaspora, that is what I'm helping them to cultivate for themselves, where they may have grown up in such a way where the idea of telling the creator, this experience was hard, I didn't like it, I am frustrated. Growing up in an Abrahamic tradition, immediate, like, this is blasphemy. God's going to smite me. There's a lightning bolt coming to find me because I spoke my truth. When, at least for me personally, that relationship with the creator is synergetic. Why? Because the creator is you. The creator is you. Like, and African spiritual traditions have always known this. Like, there's no separation between spirit and physical. The separation is an illusion. There is no separation. And so knowing that that energy is permeating through your being. If you go to my website now, it says right there at the top, self-love is an act of worship and you are the altar to the divine. You're the altar to the Most High. Every time you do something nice for yourself, since you are the Most High having a physical human experience, you're doing something nice for God. How beautiful is that? So to the notion that your creator doesn't know that whatever this life experience you had was uncomfortable, it was frustrating, it was heartbreaking. God knows. And to be able to simply sit with your creator and say, this was so hard for me. And even if you can't get an answer as to why, the knowing that the fact that it frustrated you is not wrong. Your creator wants to have a human experience. If the creator wanted to have a God experience, like a full-blown God experience, then the creator would just, only exist as the creator and there'd be no humans. The creator understands emotions. They were given to us by the creator. So feel the feels. Feel the feelings. They were given to you by your creator. Feel the feelings. What we don't do is rest there. Emotions are energy in motion. What happens with some of us is we get stuck in the energy and we don't apply the motion. We get stuck in that place and then there's no motion. So it's no longer energy in motion. It's now creating stagnancy. It's creating a boundary. It's creating an obstacle because we're not willing to move past the emotion, or we don't know how to move past the emotion. We have to allow the emotion to create the divine inspiration on how we have to move. When I began feeling comfortable, discomfort at my corporate job, like mad uncomfortable. Like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I loved my job. Like, real talk, if you ask me, I really enjoyed my job. And I just really thought that's where I was going to retire. I really did. And when I realized I dreaded getting up and logging in, that was a countdown. That was a countdown. And what I did, having a spiritual practice lets me understand the vast scope of things, because this was not just simply things happening in my physical reality. This is a reflection also of what's happening to me spiritually. Spiritually, I was growing. So, you know how they say you try to fit a square peg in a round hole? I was a square peg when I started the job. I was absolutely a square peg, fit nice and snug, and I feel good in this square hole. Hey. So then spiritually, I started growing and expanding, and then all of a sudden my square peg started to round. My square peg wasn't so square no more. It's a round peg. And now I'm in a round peg in a square hole, and I ain't got no room. This makes me feel stuck. I need to be able to move. I need to be able to stretch out. I can't stretch. And it was like I could not get a promotion. And if you ask me what they said, you are amazing. And I mean that. Like, I can pull people from my corporate job. What is your feedback? Well, you're amazing. What? That don't help me. You're amazing. Okay. And give me something I can improve. There's nothing you can do to improve. We just ended up going with another choice. That doesn't help me. That doesn't tell me what I need to do to fix me. There's nothing I need to fix me. And eventually one of my mentors said to me, that I did not need to prove myself anymore. She said, you look at your body of work and your resume, there is absolutely nothing you have to do to prove to yourself to this company. You are already worthy. You're already deserving. There's nothing else you need to do. And I was like, well, that doesn't help me. Like, it makes me feel good, but it doesn't help me. I can't get a promotion. Like, I can't. I go in an interview and she's like, I was floored. I had one interview. It wasn't a manager interview, but the guy says to me, have you ever thought about applying for manager? Because you're kind of overqualified for the role that you're applying for. Bruh, like, what y'all want me to do? So at that point, it no longer is coincidence. There's something else at play. And what I realized is that in similar situations, a tower moment has to happen in order to make me move. And because I'm personally trying to align more with ease, I don't want a tower moment. So here I am at my altar. Hey, so you don't want me here at my corporate job, but my bank account looking a little sus. So what I need you to understand is I'm not staying here because I don't want to move. I'm not staying here because I need a tower moment to make me move. I'm coming to you now to acknowledge the knowing that this is no longer the place for me. But this is what I need. I need money in the bank to do this. If it was just me by myself and I didn't have those kids, I probably would just have gone just quit. Because there would not, I could have moved back home. I had options that way. I don't have those same options being mommy of 2 children with special needs. Those options are not the same. So I'm like ever constantly in communication with my spiritual team saying, hey, I know I can feel the squeeze, like I'm trying to be pushed out, but I need money. Because sometimes we act like the Most High don't see that we got rent to pay. The creator of all is all knowing. She know we got bills. So you praying and asking for, manifesting, however that needs to invoke more money makes sense because you still got bills. You still got bills. And until the Most High has given us the Star Trek universe where they're not really dealing with money like that anymore, we still need money. So don't feel like because you were on this higher path that you shouldn't be able to pay your bills. You should still be able to pay your bills. You should still be able to pay your bills. So being able to say that to spirit and be like, and also removing certain language like being obedient. I ain't no slave. I ain't on no field. I ain't no plantation, and God is not massa. So the idea that I need to be obedient, I am co-creating my life with the creator. You can't be in a co-creation process and be obedient. When you are in a subservient role when you are obedient. And when you are obedient, you're also expecting a punishment because you moved a certain way. That's residual trauma from the Stockholm Syndrome relationship that we grew up with. And if you're trying to cultivate a different relationship with your creator, it also starts with the language we use between us and the creator. So when we take steps in our divine inspiration and take those steps in inspired action, it's called inspired action because it feels good. We want to do that. When you are inspired to do something, you're excited to do, even if it makes you nervous, but you feel inspired. Like, I'm going to do it. I feel a little funny about it, but I'm going to do it. That's different. That is not the same energy as obedience. Those two things are not the same. So I don't use language like obedience and obey. That is language that came from the plantation and that relationship with the creator. And I don't want to use that relation. I don't want to have a relationship like that. You can't be disobedient if your creator gave you free will to choose. Who am I disobeying? Like, as if you didn't already know that I could potentially have made this choice. So what you gonna be mad for? This also requires you to take personal accountability, because if you get the divine nudge or the sign, and and then it's like, ooh, that's why I went to my altar. The moment I could had an inkling what was going on, I like, hey, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. I'm not ignoring you. But if we're going to do this thing together, this is how I need us to do this together so that I can do what it is that you're calling me to do without having total upheaval and disruption. Because I can be triumphant without trauma. I can be triumphant without trauma. I can be a winner without a wound. I am winning without wounds. I'm winning without wounds. I am victorious without being a victim. See, a lot of times we still stuck in this place where I got to be abused, and then, oh, here's a cookie because you took the abuse. And it's not that everything has to be perfect and that things aren't going to happen that are not going to get on your nerves. But if you're trying to call certain experiences blessings to your life, you could definitely call in that the vast majority of them don't have to come through abuse. That's okay to call it that way. You don't need to be a victim. You don't need to be a wounded warrior. You don't need to have trauma. You can have triumph, victory, and win. Period. 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 But you have to be able to feel comfortable enough having those conversations. And a lot of people aren't comfortable having those conversations because we were not told that we could. We were told to beg. That's what the word pray means. You can look it up. Go look up the etymology of the word pray. It comes from the Latin word to beg. We were told to beg. Why were we told to beg? We're told to beg because we're not worthy. Listen to your friends that are Christian. They say, oh my God, God did this thing for me and I wasn't even worthy. Who told you weren't worthy? You don't have conversation with your creator because you don't feel worthy of having the conversation. And that's because you still feel like the creator is not a part of you, but it is separate. And being able to go on a journey where you love yourself so ferociously that when you look at the mirror, you realize you are also looking at the face of God. There's your sign that that's where the game changes. Because just as much as your creator is around you, permeating through everything in the cosmos, the creator is also within. The creator is also within you. And the recognition of that relationship allows you to try to move differently. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. I told one of my godchildren the other day, I was like, the reason I share my vulnerabilities is so that they see somebody actively still doing the work to believe in themselves, to go over imposter syndrome, who is also not stopping. I'm not waiting for myself to have zero imposter syndrome to take on new students. I'm not waiting for myself to have zero imposter syndrome before I decide I'm going to put on a new event. I'm not waiting for that to happen. I'm simply moving and telling myself I'm going to do this. And I have those moments like, am I? Should I? Can I? I still have those moments. I actively do shadow work to help me move through those moments. But understand, I'm moving. I'm not staying still. And I don't judge myself when I have those moments. I don't sit around saying, oh my God, I'm going backwards because I had a moment where I didn't believe. I'm not going backwards. I'm still human. I am divinely human and gloriously goddess. I'm both of them, ebbing and flowing periodically. I know probably more than I give my self credit for, exactly how powerful I am. I do. And my fear is not that I'm not powerful. It is allowing it to fully express. And so I have to make myself, don't do that. I have to make myself let it express. I have to go in. Okay, you know what? Go off. Like go all the way off. Go off. Shine like the Sirius star, not like the sun. I want to go brighter. Shine like the Sirius star. And even in those moments, I still have those moments of like y'all should see me like just before I lead a ritual or something. Like I'm having a conversation. There's an internal dialogue. Like, okay, you got this, and then I do it. It's kind of like a little bit of stage fright, but I only have it for a moment. And then the moment I get on stage, it's like, okay, I'm good. I'm all right. But I have those moments, and I'm okay with that. I have the moments, and I'm honestly okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. So, all right, 13 minutes. I think I'm doing math. 13 minutes to 5 Eastern time. Any questions you have? And like I said, save all of your Ifa, Orisha. Tell me about your Ifa journey questions for tomorrow while y'all celebrate my Ifa birthday with me. I expect like TikTok, like nobody else can do this. So TikTok, I expect gifts. I expect gifts tomorrow. Tomorrow, I expect gifts. Like if they got the little gift things, those cupcakes and snacks, and that, like it's a birthday party. Send me gifts. Respectfully, send me gifts. I bought myself a new white dress to wear for my folks coming on Saturday. For my folks attending my virtual / in-person EFI celebration on Saturday, I bought myself a new white dress to wear. I'm very excited to don my new digs. Making a nice big offering. Like, yeah, like nice big offering will be made on Saturday for those of y'all coming. Make sure y'all RSVP. Make sure y'all RSVP. Like, so I can get a head count so I can be energetically prepared. Make sure y'all RSVP for your girl, so I can be energetically prepared, because I really do want to do, like, as a thank you, a collective divination. Because I've had a few of you like already send me like donations as offerings for the celebration, and I'm like, thank you, I really appreciate it. Last year was just really nice. Like I asked each one of my Orishas what messages they had, and it was a nice, really big divination. I played music. For my folks on Zoom, I'm going to try to make Zoom not filter out the background noise so you can hear the music. But yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. And tomorrow's going to be fun too, because the day of my anniversary, I feel really nostalgic. So we were all finished on the 21st. Like, if it's technical, my last, like all my, like my initiations finished up technically today. But as a group, we were done on the 21st. So I consider the 21st the actual birthday. But if you ask me, like today, 2 years ago is the day I crowned the last of my two Orishas. I had already received both of my hands and the Iyami prior to that, but today is when I actually would have crowned Yemojan Shango. And I'm like, oh, I'm excited. I'm gonna do Oriki. Yo, like real talk. Make sure y'all devices are charged. If you're joining on Zoom, on Saturday, make sure your devices are charged. Like, yeah, make sure they're really good and fully charged, because I got a feeling, and I don't want to knock nobody power out. So just make sure whatever device you're on joining Zoom, that's charged up. Don't plug that bad boy in. Just let it be charged up. That's it. Just let it be charged. Just let it be charged up. So I'm excited. I'm excited to share. Last night, my guide siblings and I got together and we did Oriki, and we talked about how we've grown in the last year or two, and how we hope to grow within our own individual practices, how we hope to grow over the next year. And for me, it feels longer. Like, I'd be looking at the clock, like it's only been 2 years, but it doesn't feel like that to me. It feels very much like a longer relationship. And I guess because part of that is how long I feel like I've had a relationship with Orisha. So it does feel like I've had a relationship with the tradition much longer than I've been crowned in it. But I think there's also like that past life, like, no, you've been at this way longer. And I'm like, okay, all righty then, sugar. Now, all right, cool. So 8 minutes. I got 8 minutes. I can probably get one, maybe two questions in. And otherwise, I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening or day or afternoon, whatever time zone y'all are in. It's really odd because I got a Bluetooth in as if I can hear y'all talking, and I realize like it's kind of pointless because it's not like we're on Zoom and I can't hear y'all talking. Sure, whatever. No questions? Everybody good? Everybody good? Hopefully, if those of you who've been on here for a minute learned something, got something that you could take away with you, like, yo, I'm going to use that. Um, but I always appreciate y'all. God dang. 3.3 likes, and I got on live at 3:33. We'll take it. 3.3 likes, and I got on the live at 3:33. I will take that. I will take it. I will absolutely take it. This is apple juice. Before anybody asks, this is apple juice. It's apple juice. Anything? Nothing? Y'all ain't got no questions. Y'all better take that. Look, y'all got all the E5 questions. Mine is so delayed. Like it's me. It's totally me. Mine is so delayed, and I don't know. And it's my phone. I think it's the fact that I'm Xfinity, because it's not just this. I get late. My notifications on my apps be mad slow. It'll notify me on my iPad, and I still will not have gotten it on my phone. So something's up with my phone. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's in a different dimension. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Well, y'all need me. You know how to find me. If you're coming on Saturday, make sure you RSVP. Otherwise, I'm going to let y'all go and enjoy the rest of that day. I'm going to figure out. I want dinner and have no idea what I want. So I'm going to see what kind of sandwich I'm going to make for dinner. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do a sandwich. Do a sandwich and some chips. Cheeps. The sandwich and some cheeps, like my son says. But otherwise, I hope you'll have a good one. And I will see y'all for the celebration tomorrow. With a sandwich and some chips. Sandwich and chips sound good. It's not busting. That's going to be nice. I'm going to make it fancy too. I'm going to put like, fancy lettuce. And I did ceremony today. And so that means I get to have spinach today. Yay! Because I can't have spinach any other time. So since I did ceremony today, I get to eat spinach today. So I could put spinach on my sandwich and some little fancy lettuce and spring mix. Maybe I can caramelize some onions. Now, you know what? I might make a sauce. Okay. I don't know who wants this. Like, I might make a sauce for my sandwich. Like I might make a sauce for my sandwich. Yes. Yes, they are. I might make a sauce for my sandwich. That sounds like it would be tasty. Make a little sauce. Because I got a little mini bullet thingy. It's this. Yes. Hello. What are you doing? On the floor. See, told you my time was almost up. Like y'all ain't seen a kid this whole time. Ain't seen no child this whole entire time. Oh, have y'all seen that my little one, not the one that just came in here, but the other one that sometimes pops in, that has started writing a story? Like, Mo, what I posted was just a snippet. I think I have about 17 to 18 different pictures. So I'm going to put them all together and get them printed in book form. Yeah, and he's like the words on there are his words, but he didn't help. He needed help spelling everything. So, but the story is his, and he would just write one, come back. Can you write? And he would tell me whatever I needed to write and write it down. He'd come back, and it was wild. He would clear. It was one of those. Y'all remember Etch a Sketch? Kind of like a fancier Etch a Sketch. So he would clear the image away, and I watched him like he was actively thinking what was getting ready to happen next. So he's and so then he draws the picture, comes back to me. Can you write? And then tells me what I'm supposed to write on his storyboard.
10.
So I'm like, okay, I will write that. And then I kind of got low key invested in the story because I'm like, wait, how did this happen? What happened in between here? I feel like he missed a part of the story. But okay, sorry. All right. Yeah, okay. I'll write it. So now I have all the ones until he got ready to stop. So I'm gonna print them up. Well, get them printed in book form. I'm like send them off to like Walmart photo or something and have them put it in a book. And I'll just design a book cover for him, and it'll be his first book. I'll put like on the front of the book like by and his name, and that'll be his first published book. Oh. And someone said like you should like really publish it. So I'm not co-writing. Look. So someone always like that's not what he said, and I'm like, I know, but I still like I'm trying like he got plot holes. I'm just trying to help him with the plot holes. Like I'm just trying to help with the plot holes. I thought about doing that. If I don't do it on there, I'm gonna do it on Lulu, which is probably more than likely where I'll go versus Amazon because KDP got some things going on. And that's probably the reason I haven't published a new book because I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do it. Because the book is in my head. I got the book in my head. And it may just be an ebook because I don't know how big it's supposed to be. Yeah, Lulu, yeah. And Lulu, I can do stuff like journals. So my Book of Shadows, I want to republish it. I'm going to do a revised version of it and do it as a spiral bound book. And I'm going to let Lulu publish it. I'm just trying to see how I want to do it because Lulu will publish and direct ship from my website, but I have to use Shopify. But Shopify is not like where I only have to pay if I actually have a transaction. There's a monthly fee, and that's the part that, you know. Uh, but I got like a few journals. So like the numerology workbook y'all got for class. I'm thinking about publishing that as like a spiral bound book people can purchase, and then it would give them like a QR code to be able to access the class to go with the book. Real like I don't know, child. Like it was just the idea of having to pay for it, honestly. But I think it's like between 10 to $20. So I mean, if I sell like at least 2 books a month, I can, depending on how, and Lulu will then waive their fees. So if I'm paying Shopify, I don't necessarily have to pay the fees that Lulu charges for them publishing the book. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Now that I'm talking about it out loud, I'm excited. I'm like, I could do the numerology. Like, I at least have the numerology book can be spiral bound. The Working with the Moon book can be spiral bound because they both have journal pages in them. I think I have one for dreams that I just never put out there. That can be spiral bound. And then if I stop playing around, I had the idea a year ago for watch out, Shaheen. Watch out, Shaheen. Watch out, Shaheen. I had an idea for one for E5 practitioners specifically. And so, aren't they though? Like, like I'm like, dude, like the eyes are eyeing. The eyes be eyeing. Like just clear and big. Yeah. Don't please don't break that. Please don't break.
No.
Yeah, don't break that. I appreciate it. Thanks.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
0.
0. And if you saw my father, he's like, as his face slims up, he's a shrunken version of my dad. Right now, his face is a little full, so he looks like his dad. As I looked at him the other day, I'm like, look. You heard him do the countdown at 3, 2, 1? Did you hear him? Like, mm-mm.
Can you have a countdown?
Jelani comes in here. Jelani been in like, Mommy, get to the living room. You have to get to the living room. And I'm like, what I'm going to the living room for? Get up. First off, you small lion. Don't tell me to get up. You don't get to tell me to get up. I don't know what I did. He's a Sagittarius. The other one's a Leo. What did I do? The reason I needed all my children to be fire signs. Like, what did I do? What did I do? And then the Sag is a Leo rising, so you double fire, is what you're saying. Right. All the fire. All of it. All of it. And let's just say I looked at the egg bay that they're in. I'm just like, bruh. Like, what was I doing? Yeah. What did I have going on? The reason, because, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. My word. They're going to be interesting when they get older, especially as their speech comes in, because they're both catching up to their peers. And I'm like, when they're kind of like there, they're going to be correcting my grammar. And I will be like, I speak AAVE and colonized English. Don't come for me. Don't, man. Jelani, that one right there, that one right there. Like, for my astrology buffs, like that, like the astrology, my 5th house, which is the house of my children, is ruled by Scorpio, and the planet Uranus is there. So yeah, every once in a while I have to pull a couple cards. Like, Lord, what's my kids trying to teach me? They're trying to teach me something. Just remind me. Just remind me again, because the disruption. Like, nope, I can't. With Scorpio energy, it can't be surface level. So I can't just say, hey, don't do ... and that be enough. No, we must know the why behind it, because that Scorpio energy in the house of my children says they are never going to accept a surface level answer. They always need to know the why behind it. And if there is no such thing as them doing as I say, not as I do, if I want them to go to bed, I have to be done with everything. I got to be done. Everything needs to be put away, lights off. I need to have night clothes on, because they ain't going to sleep. Especially not Jelani. Jaheem may actually go to sleep. Jelani, You still up? I'm still up. I'll go to sleep when you're ready to go to sleep. And he'll come in, Mommy, you want to lay down on the couch? Okay, I'm coming. Put all my stuff away. Go lay down. And let's say I try to lay down and scroll. Lay down, put the phone away. Then he goes to sleep. And he'll go to sleep within minutes. Like, it's not even a long wait. It's like, oop, sleep. So you just waiting on me to do what I was supposed to do. Got it. Got it. I'm like, these. I'm just wondering what the next one's going to be like. See me speaking that into existence? I wonder what the next one's going to be like. Is she going to be a fire sign? Going to have water in the house? Maybe a little water? Because I'm air, so we're going to have a little water. A little bit of water? No. Some more fire? She probably going to be fire too. And I'm just going to be like, bruh. And I ain't going to do nothing but fan the flame, because I'm air. I ain't doing nothing but fanning the flame. It's just... Send help. Close my closet door. No, homie. Come out of my closet. Out.
You in your closet?
Yep. All right. Well, Jaheim is hovering, so I'm gonna do what my father said. I'm gonna do what my small version of my father said. And then look, TikTok says, "Hey, good job. You would have been on live for 90 minutes." I'm finna go. Because I'm gonna be on here at least 90 minutes tomorrow. Oh, thank you for the flowers. Thank you for the roses. Thank you. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself. There you go. Yeah, y'all have a good evening. I will see y'all tomorrow. Do you know what tomorrow is?
Singing.
It's my anniversary. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye, y'all.
Good work.
Thanks, Jaheim.
Great job, Mommy.
Great job, Jaheim.
That was great work.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.